In this video, I'm going to show you what a 40-year-old should have in retirement savings 3 different ways. The first is when you compare the 40-year-old against other savers. The second is when you compare the 40-year-old against savers and non-savers, so the entire pool of 40-year-olds. And the third point, I'm going to show you what a 40-year-old should have today to retire comfortably in the future. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
So I've got a question for you. You're 40 years old and you've got 25 years left, more or less, until you retire. Do you think about retirement savings? A lot of 40-year-olds don't. They have other responsibilities. They have to save for their child's college. They have to pay for their down payment on the second home. They have to pay association dues. They have to put food on the table. They have to buy a new car. They have a lot of really big, expensive obligations at 40 years old. But at 40, you are also starting the climb to your peak earnings point in your life. So it's important to get started now to achieve an outcome that you want to achieve 25 years from now. But what should you look like if you're comparing yourself to others? That's what this video is all about. Let's use some data so that I can explain some concepts to you. Let's assume that you are one of 5 40-year-olds who has a 401k. The first 40-year-old has $292,000. In their 401k. The second has $48,000 in their 401k. The third has $10,050 in their 401k. The fourth has $7,500 in their 401k. And number 5 has $5,000 in their 401k. This gives us a total of $362,750. An average of $72,550. This means on average, 40-year-olds have $72,550 saved in their retirement account, but the midpoint of the first and the last is $10,050. And I would suggest to you that the midpoint is a much more relevant number, because this number could be, and probably is, someone who has been living at home their entire life, or someone that had a big trust fund, or someone that found a way to save virtually everything that they made while having others pay for their bills, or perhaps they just don't have any bills. But the bottom line is this number skews this number and makes most people feel like they've undersaved. The reality is $10,050 is the number at 40 years old where the middle of the savers exist. And I used 5 in this example, but if you'd extrapolated this to 5 million, you would have come up with very similar results. An average of 72,000 and a median of 10,050. Those are the actual numbers for savers. Now, if you overlay those that don't save, and the fact of the matter is 81% of Americans don't have anything or virtually nothing saved for retirement, less than $5,000 anyway, then this number comes way down. Savers and non look like this. A mean of $17,834, that's the average or the mean, and the median or the midpoint of $6,025. So when you compare yourself amongst savers, if you're a saver, this is your benchmark. When you compare yourself amongst non-savers, if you want to add that into the pool because it represents everybody, then these are your benchmarks. The question is, what should you have at 40 years old? Well, according to Fidelity, you should have 3 times your current salary in savings by the time you're 40 years old. The problem, of course, is you don't, or it's very unlikely that you do, because this number assumes two things. The first is that your expenses at 40, and they have a number for 50, and they have a number for 60, and the number gets bigger and bigger. It assumes that your expenses today are going to be the same as those when you retire. And the reality is you won't be saving for your kids' college when you're 65. You won't be saving for your child's wedding. You won't be saving for retirement anymore, in fact. You won't be paying off a new car or a home. There are a lot of things that you have to spend your money on today that you won't spend your money on when you're 65. And so this number should be, in my humble opinion, about half that. So 1.5 times your current salary. The good news is at 40, even if you don't have 1.5 times your current salary saved, you could certainly catch up over the next 25 years if you plan appropriately. But that's the stuff for another video. Hey, if you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up so that other people can find it as well. And make sure you hit subscribe and notifications below so that you get notified the next time I post a video. I post about twice a week. This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.